BYU gets blown out by a tough number 4 Gonzaga in the Marriott Center last night.
That was incredible. Inside he goes again. Oh, he slides by Drummond.
Rudy Gobert is snubbed from the NBA All-Star Game.
And get ready for Super Bowl 53. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots take on the LA Rams.
I'm Michaela Hewardine.
And I'm Lindsay Peterson, and it's time for Sportsline.
Growing up, I only had sisters, so the Super Bowl the week following, or the week going up to it, wasn't that big of a deal until the day of, and my dad made sure we were watching it and it was on in the house.
Oh, I'm so excited for the Super Bowl. I have 3 brothers. It's a big deal. We pull out that 7-layer dip, you know, so Sunday's going to be a good one.
It's going to be fun. Super Bowl weekend is here, and in just 2 days, the New England Patriots will battle the Los Angeles Rams for the coveted Vince Lombardi Trophy. Omar Jimenez reports from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, where the excitement is just getting started.
It's not just a football championship. It's the biggest event of the year, and all eyes are on Atlanta.
The biggest media event in the world today will bring over 1 million people to Atlanta. Obviously, the stadium will be sold out, and it's an opportunity, I think, for Atlanta to shine and to show its current best.
Over the course of this week, it's been about so much more than the game. There have been concerts almost every night, player autograph sessions, interactive games, and more, all to accommodate the fans.
You see the field painted the way it is and all the decor in the stadium. You know, when there's 100+ million people at home that, you know, are going to be watching this game, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
And all that planning inside the stadium has come with just as much, if not more, outside of it.
We have coordinated with over 40 agencies, federal, state, and local agencies, to make sure that public safety is a priority and that all of our visitors will have a great, safe event.
As for the stadium itself, it's no stranger to big events, hosting the Major League Soccer Championship in December, along with the NCAA Football Championship in 2018.
Hosting the national championship game was a little bit of a chance to kind of say, okay, what's a big event like? But there's nothing on the magnitude of the Super Bowl.
And all of their preparation will be put to the test Sunday night, the 53rd iteration of a game that's been a year in the making. In Atlanta, I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
BYU loses to number 4 Gonzaga 93-63. The Cougars came out with a few defensive stops, but the Zags were too much. The Bulldogs went on multiple 10-point runs to show everyone in the Marriott Center that they are the real deal. TJ Haas scored a team high for the night, 16 points for the Cougars. Zach Celia stepped up with 13 points, and Yoli Childs added 12 points and 7 rebounds. The Zags were the better team, shooting 58% from the field and 50% from beyond the arc. The Cougars remain at home this weekend against LMU on Saturday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Number 25 ranked BYU women's basketball ended their 11-game winning streak in a loss to Loyola Marymount on Thursday night. The Cougs fell 61-58 to drop their first conference game of the season. Paisley Johnson led the team in scoring with 16 points, adding 6 assists and 3 rebounds. Jasmine Moody also contributed 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 assists. The women will travel to Pepperdine for their next game on Saturday, which will be broadcast on the WTV at 3 p.m.
BYU Athletic Director Tom Homo gave his annual press conference on Wednesday. When asked about the difficulty of the newly released 2019 football schedule, he says he's optimistic.
If you were to take each one of those teams at their very best, it would be wicked. But I don't know if each one of those teams is at their very best in their history right now, including BYU.
Homo was adamant about his beliefs that the Cougars have a good chance to win a large number of games next season. BYU football will open their season August 29th against Utah in Provo. The Cougs will be the only team in the nation to open their season playing 4 straight Power 5 teams. BYU football is in full reconstruction mode as LaVell Edwards Stadium gets an upgrade. The Cougars continue on the recruitment path, and Sportsline reporter Nathan Israelson went out to the stadium. Nathan, what changes are they making to the stadium?
Yeah, Lindsay, the groundbreaking work here is not too revolutionary. They're just trying to fill in, as you can see behind me, fill in these stadiums, making it easier for patrons to move around and get around the stadium. In a statement released by the university, they say the changes are intended to improve accessibility, safety, and overall patron experience at BYU football games and other stadium events. As you can see by these artist reconstructions, this will help patron flow and add additional bathrooms and ease of access to other areas of the stadium.
While we are on the topic of reconstruction, how are the Cougars progressing after last season?
While the Cougars in Kalani are in full recruitment mode with National Signing Day just around the corner, February 6th, mark your calendars, there was a signing period in December, and that signing period was the early signing period where we got guys like Jacob Conover and Chase Young to play quarterback and wide receiver. But right now the Cougars have their eyes set on guys like Trey Anderson and Cole Albright. Anderson is a 6'6" tight end from Lehigh, Utah, and hopefully he can provide a great tight end position with the absence of Don Holker and play great alongside Matt Bushman for Zach Wilson. While Cole Albright is a DN from California, he was the county sack leader with 19 sacks as a senior. He was a one-man wrecking crew and hopes to fill the void left by Taki Taki and Kafusi. There are a few running backs in the transfer portal with BYU on their mind, one from Rice and one from Florida State, but however for now it is just a rumor, and I don't want to speculate too much on rumors because, you never know.
So with all these things in mind, what are some of your way too early expectations for the Cougars this upcoming season?
Well, this is where it gets tricky. BYU's got a lot of power on offense. Zach Wilson's coming back. You got a strong offensive line, and you got some key playmakers in Bushman, Katoa, and Hefo all coming back for the offense. The defense has a lot of young players that got a lot of experience last year, but you're losing stars like Corbin Kafusi and Sione Takitaki. All that being said, the first 5 games will determine this season. Take a look at this graphic. First up, you got Utah. Utah is a rivalry game. Anything can happen. Then you got Tennessee, the Volunteers at Tennessee. Never easy to play in SEC territory. After that, you got to come home to face 2 Pac-12 powerhouses in USC and Washington. 2 good teams that always perform well. And then after that, you got to go to Ohio, play the Toledo and the Rockets in Ohio, which we haven't done for quite a while. All that being said, however, I do believe that the Cougars will have a better season than last year, more wins, and a better bowl game opportunity. But those first 5 games, as I said, will be the key factor in this season. I think there'll be more smiling faces than sad faces this year in the stands, though, especially at home.
Thank you, Nathan, for the update. We hope the Cougars do as good as you think.
Thanks, Lindsay.
We're 10 days away from the inaugural season of the Alliance of American Football League, and with it the launch of the Salt Lake Stallions. The AAF is an 8-team league hoping to complement the NFL during the offseason and also develop local players. The Stallions feature a roster including 10 former Utes, 5 former Cougars, and 2 former Aggies. The Stallions' first game is February 23rd versus the Arizona Hotshots at Rice-Eccles Stadium.
Number 3 BYU men's volleyball travels to California to take on number 9 UC Santa Barbara this weekend for back-to-back matches. The Cougars are coming off a bye week after victories over Penn State and St. Francis. They are currently sitting in first place in the MPSF standings. The Cougs have a perfect 4-0 record in the conference. Underclassmen Gabby Garcia-Fernandez and freshman David Gardini have stepped up for the team. BYU leads the all-time series against UCSB 42-22. Gabby Garcia-Fernandez continues to turn heads and score points for BYU volleyball and has been named a finalist for January's Off the Block National Player of the Month award. Fernandez leads the MPSF and is 3rd in the nation in kills per set with a 4.69 average. The online poll for the first round is now open and closes at 9 p.m. Friday. The championship round will be a 2-day voting event with the polls closing at 9 p.m. on Sunday.
The BYU softball team has predicted to win the WCC championship in the preseason poll. 6 players were named to the preseason All-WCC team. Libby Sugg, Lexi Taro, Riley Jensen, Bridget Fleener, Autumn Moffitt, and Carissa Virantes were all named to the team. Additionally, Libby Sugg was named to the 2019 College Softball College Player of the Year watch list. Jimmer Fredette will be coming to Utah this summer to play with his team in the basketball tournament.
Fredette trying to create some space and connects at the buzzer.
After reaching the semifinals of last year's tournament, Team Fredette earned the opportunity to host a regional site for the 2019 tournament. The regional games will be played at the Maverick Center in West Valley City this July. Last year, Fredette played alongside former BYU teammates Brandon Davies and Charles Abuo in the $2 million winner-take-all tournament. Tickets can be purchased at thetournament.com.
The complete list of NBA All-Stars was revealed yesterday afternoon. Not on the list, Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz, leaving fans and the Jazz organization unhappy. Despite being the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Gobert still didn't make the cut. The 26-year-old 7-footer averages 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game. 10 starters are picked for the All-Star game from a 50% fan vote, 25% media vote, and 25% player and coach votes. The player with the highest number of votes is named as the team captain. 14 reserves are then picked by coaches in the league. Last night, the All-Star Game reserves were announced, but not everyone is happy. Kelsey Carlson joins us now. Kelsey, what's ruffling fans' feathers?
To say fans are not happy might be an understatement after the NBA Defensive Player of the Year didn't make the cut. The time is coming. The All-Star Game is almost here. All-Star champions LeBron and Giannis are picking their teams on February 7th, but for the first time, the world will be watching. The draft pool has 8 starters and 14 reserves, but one person not on that list is Rudy Gobert. This Utah Jazz Golden Boy from France won Defensive Player of the Year, and the money question is, how did that happen? Who can forget the blocks, rebounds, and that 15-point average? So it's not surprising there's a lot of opinion on the snub of the season. But social media has some choice words for the All-Star gods that picked this. Ricky Rubio, who is a Jazz teammate and point guard, tweeted, "Rudy is not an All-Star. I guess defense and winning means nothing." And Jazz president Steve Starks saying, "Rudy deserved to be named an All-Star. Complete nonsense. We need more integrity and accountability. If the coaches vote, their ballots should be made public." Even the Salt Lake City Police Department tweeted out this photo saying, "Our investigation into the NBA All-Star snub of Rudy Gobert has discovered this undoctored photo of the NBA's coaches voting," having a picture of the Netflix film Bird Box. So I think it's safe to say we're not too happy with the casual skimming over of Gobert, and he probably isn't either, missing out on that $1 million All-Star bonus. So, All-Star Game airs on February 17th in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can watch the draft and the game on TNT.
The New York Knicks made headlines yesterday by trading star center Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis' new team and who they got for him when we come back.
Rondo, thought about it. James will shoot it. Bingo.
LeBron James is coming back for the Lakers after the longest injury layoff of his career.
And if you've ever wondered what it's like to take a jump off the high dive, stay tuned.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So, I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it. Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
There were some big moves in the NBA this week. The New York Knicks traded Kristaps Porzingis to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Dennis Smith Jr., among others. Porzingis will join Luka Doncic in Dallas for the organization to hopefully build a team around. In other NBA news, the Pelicans' Anthony Davis is being pursued by the Los Angeles Lakers after requesting a trade earlier this week. We will see what trades happen as the NBA trade deadline is on February 7th.
Last night, the Golden State Warriors lost to the Philadelphia 76ers with a score of 113-104. This is the Warriors' first loss since January 3rd. Even with Steph Curry's 41 points overall, it wasn't enough to match the 76ers' defense. The Warriors will have another chance to redeem themselves in another high-profile game against the Lakers on Saturday. And with LeBron returning to the Lakers after an injury the last time they played against the Warriors, Saturday's game will be one to watch.
LeBron James made his return to the Lakers after his longest injury break in his NBA career.
Ron don't want him on it. James will shoot it. Bingo.
James played 40 minutes in the game and scored 24 points. He also pulled down 14 rebounds and dished out 9 assists. The Lakers won the matchup 123-120 in overtime. It advances the Lakers' record to 27-25. They sit in 9th in the Western Conference standings and 1 game back from the Clippers.
And last week's Comic-Con for hockey nerds, the NHL All-Star Game had hockey fans glued to their screens. Players like the Sharks' Joe Pavelski, Erik Karlsson, and Brent Burns were named to the Pacific Division All-Star team and impressed the fans throughout the weekend. Now looking to the second half of the NHL season, the Sharks and the Lightning are now the front-runners and the ones to beat, with the Washington Capitals creeping up in the rankings.
Free agent outfielder and former National League MVP Bryce Harper met Wednesday with the San Diego Padres. The Padres are joined by the Phillies, White Sox, and Nationals as the teams who have shown the most interest in signing Harper. San Diego has also been connected with shortstop Manny Machado and Marlins catcher JT Realmuto. More free agents could be signing soon as spring trainings begin in less than 2 weeks.
A BYU team is flipping their way to nationals and making quite the splash. Sportsline reporter Lindsay Carroll caught up with the dive team this week. Lindsay, what are they up to?
Wow, this team is absolutely insane. They invited me to go up and do a dive with them, and my fear of heights kind of kept me back from that. But it was amazing. I did manage to get an in-depth look into the splash that the BYU team dive is making. Climbing their way to the top is something these BYU Cougars have been doing for their whole lives. But they really make a splash with their jump back to the bottom.
It's just really electric, and you just feel it as you go in the water. You know that you hit the dive.
Morgan Mello has been diving since she was just 6 years old, fulfilling her dream to dive for BYU and pushing herself to overcome her fears, especially of the high platform. Athletes dive from 1 and 3 meter springboards and also make their way up to the 5, 7, and 10 meter platforms. To put it in perspective, jumping off a 10-meter platform is roughly like jumping off the 3rd floor of a small building. Meets consist of 6 dives, with the dives assigned point values based on their degree of difficulty. Each judge gives a score from 0 to 10, which are added together and multiplied by the degree of difficulty for the overall score.
It's like a very mental sport, getting yourself to go after you belly flop. So if you can do that, you kind of get a fearless mind, then you can dive.
For junior standout Nathan Gonzalez, the belly flops are part of what makes diving memorable.
They're like, oh, you're a diver, can I see a video? Oh yeah, I always pull out the best belly flops.
BYU consistently sends divers to the MPSF and Zone E National Diving Championships, with Gonzalez making it all the way to the NCAA Championship in his freshman year. The BYU dive team focuses on improvement, dedication, and camaraderie.
Be brave and be strong.
We're just one big family. We push each other to the limit.
The Cougars are actually competing in their final regular season meet right now in Colorado against teams including Boise State, Wyoming, and in-state rival Utah.
So good luck to the Cougs today and tomorrow, and you can cheer them on in the MPSF Championships on the 21st and at the Zone E Championships in March.
Former BYU football running back Riley Burt visited UNLV this weekend, though there is no official news that he is transferred there. Burt departed BYU a few weeks ago to enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. Though his BYU career, Burt had 96 carries for 513 yards and 3 touchdowns.
MLS All-Star Miguel Almiron made a transfer deadline day switch over to the English Premier League yesterday. The Atlanta United forward signed with English side Newcastle United for an MLS record fee of around $26 million, which is also a record for Newcastle. The Paraguay international has scored 21 goals over 2 seasons with Atlanta.
Real Salt Lake Academy player and Utah native Taylor Booth was also part of a transfer deal.
It's a dream come true to be playing for such a successful club. I've grown up watching this club since I was a young boy, so to finally be here is it's an unbelievable feeling.
The 17-year-old was signed by German Giants and 28-time Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich on a 3.5-year deal.
Although the weather has been cold, the NBA sure heated up this week. We'll have 3 of the top plays of the week for you when we come back.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it. Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh, boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. How does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
For the top plays of the week, LeBron James scored 24 points in his first games back from his injury, including this step-back jumper with the shot clock expiring.
Number 2, Dallas Mavericks' Luka Doncic hits this wild three-pointer with one hand as the shot clock expires.
And for the number 1 play of the week, NBA All-Star Giannis Antetokounmpo slams it down in the win over the Raptors. Now it's time for our predictions of the week. First, we're going to talk about the Jazz and the upcoming trades with the deadline coming up. Lindsay, what do you think?
You know, I think the only way it makes sense for the Jazz to trade is if they get Mike Conley out of the deal, but then we'd have to get rid of Ricky Rubio, which makes me a little sad.
Which I think trades are a good thing, but the Jazz have such a good thing going. They have the relationship, the chemistry, and I think if we disrupt that now, that's going to, who knows what that'll do.
You know what? I actually think that Donovan Mitchell just needs a partner in crime. He needs someone to help him on the offense, to bring those plays and rack up those points. So I think it's a great idea.
You know, honestly, I think Drew Holiday would be a really good asset to the team. They really need some good offense, some good shooters, and I think he would be a really good all-around player for the team. Okay, next we're going to discuss the Super Bowl coming up with the Patriots facing the Rams. Lindsay, what do you think?
I'm a Patriots fan through and through. There is no beating Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Well, thinking of Tom Brady, Lindsay, does this look familiar right here? Yeah, those deflated footballs.
That is harsh. You know,
Rams all the way.
He's the GOAT. There's no beating him.
No.
No, I totally agree. Rams, Rams, Rams. Tom Brady does not need another ring. And they're going to, you know what, the Rams are going to bring it with the defense. They're going to have those pass rushes. They're going to have those blocks. And they have Donald and Suss. So, I mean, what else do they need, really?
No, I have to disagree with you. I think the Patriots are going to win all the way. I don't really like the complaints of other people saying that just because they've won so much, someone else should. If they're that good, let them win, have that 6th Super Bowl ring. You know, and I think the Rams just got to bring it. Like you said, they got to bring their defense. So that's all of our predictions today. Moving on to our reminders. We have a lot of BYU sports coming up this week. Here are a few to keep in mind. Men's basketball plays LMU tomorrow at the Marriott Center. Number 14 BYU Gymnastics faces off against Cal and Arizona State. Number 3 men's volleyball has back-to-back matches this weekend against UCSB. Lastly, number 25 BYU women's basketball play next Thursday against rival St. Mary's.
That's Sportsline for Friday. To see our reporter stories again and to share with your friends, check out our website at 11news.byu.byu/ysports.
Yeah, what are your plans for the Super Bowl? Going with family?
Oh
yeah.
Chicken wings all the way.
Oh, there you go.
Love them.
Yeah,
Gotta keep going.
I don't know. My family, my mom makes a very big spread. We have some friends over, family over. It's a really big deal in my house.
I can't watch it with anybody else because I just love the Patriots so much that, you know.
Oh my goodness.
People make me a little grumpy, and so.
Okay,
Patriots
thanks for joining
fans.
us today. Have a great day and go Cougars.
That was incredible. Inside he goes again. Oh, he slides by Drummond.